You'll see plenty of discussions about Yamaha's XT600 engines and this common problem. No oil reaching the engine head after something as simple as an oil change or a rebuild. Most people just say, start the engine and wait for the oil to show up in the head. But here's the thing. Sometimes the oil never makes it there. And if you don't check, you might end up seizing your motor. So, why does this happen? The answer is pretty straightforward. It's usually an airlock in the pump assembly or the oil feed line going to the pump. When you're changing the oil on these 600cc motors, it can be really tempting to just undo the oil feed line from the pump input. That way, you can easily drain oil from both the motor and the oil reservoir at the same time. But don't fool yourself. You're only creating more work in the long run. Here's why. If you do that, the oil feed line will catch some air, and the oil pump won't be able to create enough vacuum to pull oil through the airlock. So when you're doing oil changes, always use the dedicated drain bolts for the engine and the oil reservoir. That way, the oil line stays filled with oil, and you won't end up with an airlock. So here's what I was doing. Bleeding the oil pump assembly by hand. First, pull the spark plug from the engine. That way you're not fighting against compression every time you turn the engine over. Then just keep turning the engine by hand, adding oil as you go, and bleeding the oil pump. Once the pump starts pulling some oil, quickly connect the oil feed line to the pump and fill the line with oil. Keep repeating the process and make sure oil is actually being taken into the engine. Once you're sure the oil feed line is completely free of air, connect the oil reservoir to the line, put the bike on its wheels, and fill the reservoir all the way to recommended maximum mark. At this point, you can unscrew the oil check screw on the engine head. Even just turning the engine by hand, you should see oil showing up in the head. If you don't even think about starting the engine. Good luck, and take care. If you have any questions, I would gladly answer them in the comment section.